All right, welcome back to another Wright podcast. I am Paul Stewart.
And I am Brian Wright, and we have made it to Saturday, the second best day of the week, maybe. And hey, you're at a new little spot there.
Star Wars studio, buddy. At a friend's house. A collector of toys, of a lot of Star Wars stuff. You can see some of this in the background. Pretty amazing. He gave me a little tour, showed me just all. I was in like heaven, dude, because this was the stuff I grew up with. There's the Ewok Village, all the little figurines. I mean, but he has more too. There's a Jurassic Park thing here to my side. There's He-Man. There's pretty incredible.
Well, I mentioned it to you, but I think our people that listen will appreciate this. It's a great Seinfeld episode where Jerry's dating this girl, sees like the G.I. Joe collection, and realizes like him and George would like just go over there and play with the toys that are in a box that have never been opened. And so I can't remember exactly whether they just gave her a bunch of turkey and like tryptophan, or they actually drugged her with something. But they would go over there, they would eat turkey or drug her. It wasn't frowned upon on the episode. It was in fun.
And they would go over there. Do anything in the 90s, yeah.
Yeah. They'd go over there and play with their toys. And then obviously, I think Jerry probably had over how many ever episodes, probably a girlfriend every other one, but that was hilarious. They'd go. I feel like I was wondering, when we first got on here before we actually started recording, could we get access and maybe have a little playtime there?
Maybe I don't know, maybe. But so I wasn't a Seinfeld guy growing up. You know what aired at the same time as Seinfeld that I watched?
What?
Martin. You remember the show Martin?
I do remember the show Martin, and I will be first to agree that when the show was in its original, coming out with new episodes and following Cheers, and they really tried to move it around. First couple of seasons were just okay. It did not do well at all in the ratings. By year 3, it really hit its kind of stride, and I have seen literally every episode now. But I think I saw it all in syndication.
Yeah, I wasn't a Seinfeld. I did watch the last episode because that was just such a cultural phenomenon. I had to watch that, and I watched some leading up to it, and I understood the character. I knew the things, but I just wasn't a Seinfeld guy. My little brother loves Seinfeld. A lot of friends who love Seinfeld watch it all the time, but and I appreciate it now. But at the time, I was a Martin guy. So Brian, we're kicking off a new month, March the 1st. So one of my favorite things to do is send out a text message on the 1st of every month. And we've been talking about music this week, all the kind of week, the day songs. So on the 1st of the month, probably more times than not, I send out a text message to 30 to 35 people. It's the Bone Thugs and Harmony, the song First of the Month. And I'll send it to them in the morning. Have you never been on this text? It's not a text thread. I individually send it to like 30, 35 people.
Well, number one, that's incredible. I do not text 30 to 35 people. I mean, I do occasionally, but I don't still talk to 30 to 35 people. I was listening to this Joe Rogan guy, and he was talking about like tribal, and you're going back a long time.
Yeah.
And like typically the tribal back in, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years ago, whatever, like 120 to 150 people. That was kind of the mass of what people you could have real relationships. And I think you're still on that number, right? I think my circle much smaller. I'm a much tighter circle guy. And so just, again, shows you're a much better person than me. You stay connected with people through your Bones, Thugs, and Harmony text.
People love it.
And
I love it. I sent it to them. I hope they love it.
Well, do they respond? How many responses?
And here's the thing that I really do appreciate about that. Probably at least 75% of them respond with a quick message back or something, a thumbs up, a heart, an LOL sort of thing. But it gives me a chance to reconnect, once a month or so with these people that are not in the the super inner circle, but the maybe the next layer or two of circles. So it's just something fun and goofy I like to
Do
do.
you
So
ever
far.
get anybody who's like, take me off this? Do you ever get anybody that's like, who is this and why are you sending me this?
No, no, because it's people that I'm pretty tight with. It's people
Well,
that
I was
know
just
who
saying,
I
like, if you had a
am.
phone number change or something that somebody you weren't in the circle to get that, I was hoping you would get like these random. Like I've seen Theo Vaughn, like he said when he would get bored, sometimes he would just text random numbers and start trying to act like, you know, he would send out random texts. It's like, hey, did you hear about Randall? He got an A on his report card, and he was sending this to random people, and then those
Yeah.
people would be like, who the hell is this? And then somebody else would be like, congratulations, Randall. And then somebody else was like, why am I on this text? And so anyway, I didn't know if you
Uh,
ever had like a
well,
response.
so I had the same phone number for probably 15, 16 years. I mean, you don't change phone numbers very much, right? If you're just a regular person. I left a company and they were paying for my phone, and it was kind of an ordeal to keep the phone number. So I got a new phone number a couple of years ago. And yeah, if you've had a phone for a while, it's kind of a mess, right? You got to kind of send messages out and let people know and
Right, your
that
circle,
sort of
you
thing.
really have to. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so a couple, probably a couple months ago, I had some friends and they were kind of transitioning out of a job, and but my old number was still getting a lot of messages. Like I would have people like, "Oh, I tried to text you, I tried to message you, and it went to some kid, and I thought it was your son." And this, I was like, "Oh no!" And so I kind of like through hearing from a bunch of people, kind of found out that a kid got my old number, and so I didn't know what how old the kid was. I didn't know because kids, as young as 10 or so are getting phones now, or I didn't know if they meant like 18. One
Right.
person,
I mean,
one
anything
person,
under 25 really is a kid at this
yeah,
point. Yeah.
one of my friends called and she said she thought it was my son. It's like, is your dad there? And he's like, yeah, he's in the backyard. And she's like, will you go get him? And like it, then he hung up on her or something. So a couple months ago, after all this, I finally text my old number and I say, hey, this is Paul Stewart. I heard you're getting some texts or some messages. And so the kid replies, he's if one more person spams me about Paul Stewart, I'm gonna lose it. And I'm just like, and then that's it. And I'm like, I said, no, this is Paul Stewart, like in bold. That goes unread for a few hours. I'm like, oh man, this kid's ticked. Comes back a few hours later and says, oh, sorry, I read that wrong. I've been getting spammed for you. And he was using spam kind of
Loosely.
incorrectly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's actual. He's not getting spam. He's getting my messages or my
That's right. That's right.
and
One of your 50 people
yeah.
in
So I
your
guess to him
circle,
it's
in your
spam. To me
nest.
it was like yeah communication. He's like, oh no, I'm so sorry. Like I was in school. I was like, oh that's good. Stay in school. Pay attention. And I just hey if anybody messages you here, this is my new number. Please forward along. I said, but you know what? Have a little fun with them. Yeah, tell him something goofy like my dad's in the backyard fighting a crocodile or something along those lines
I like that.
and so he keeps texting me though kind of asking me questions and I'm like oh man like I don't this
It's
is
getting a little bit weird. Now you've got
yeah
a young friend in your
so
circle.
it turns out and I didn't ask for particulars or specifics I was like but it turns out he actually tried out for our baseball team and we cut him. So he's playing travel baseball now. He tried for our team a couple years ago. Got him. Um, but and I make sure to tell his parents that hey, please tell your parents that I don't regularly like text just random. This is a very specific
You're a
instance.
special child. You're
Yeah.
special.
And so he's still playing some travel baseball and doing. I haven't heard. He texted me like a few weeks later says, "Hey, this lady texted you about some work stuff." But I told her you were in the backyard fighting a dinosaur. The lady calls me like a couple hours later. Is like, are you messing with me? I was like, no, this is so Yeah, man, that was. I
Oh, dude, that's
I
hilarious.
kind of like the kid though. He's seems like a good kid. Has a sense of humor.
Yeah,
Kind of wise, cracking wise. So I don't know his name. I didn't ask his name. I didn't. I
that's
felt
probably
weird
good. You
asking his
may end up
name.
on an FBI list if you start texting him. You know,
Yeah,
hey, what's your name? Hey, where do you
yeah.
live? You know.
That's too much. Well, I know the general area where he lives just based on some of the things he was saying, um, and I think he said or that like his dad. I think his dad was about my age, my plus minus a year, and I think remembered me from like baseball. I think his dad played baseball in high school as well, and that sort of thing. So some familiarity there for sure. So yeah, definitely. Man, wild times. Yeah, with phones and phone numbers and all that sort of thing. But hey, we got a fun sports day coming up, right? We got it's March 1st. That means March Madness is on the way.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's on the way. And I'm still, really good. I'm surprised you're not on top of this. Really good Clemson, South Carolina baseball series this weekend.
We were yeah, we watched it. We watched a little bit of the game at dinner last night. We're in South Carolina at the moment. Got to see my second daughter play some college softball. Got to see a little college baseball as well. Another little double header for me. And people were talking about the game. People are passionate about it here in South Carolina, and yeah, it's good college baseball going on, and especially those in-state rivalries, the ACC, SEC. Man, it's a big deal, and it's a lot of.
And I should know the name that was brought up, and I don't have direct access to it now. But the coach for South Carolina, he's kind of a legend, from LSU, kind of retired and then was brought back. They paid him a ton of money. South Carolina has opened up 9-0, now 9-1. And so they still 5-3, ball in the ninth inning for South Carolina, hit to the warning track with a runner on first. So really exciting game. 7,000+ people at Clemson Stadium tonight. They'll go Clemson. They went or Clemson last night, and then South Carolina today. Then they go to a neutral site for Sunday. And so really, really, really fun atmosphere, I would imagine, if you're on either side. And both teams here lately, Clemson has had its ups and downs, a lot more ups here lately, and South Carolina's kind of had its ups and downs and a lot more downs maybe than 10 or 15 years ago.
Won
And
those
but the
back-to-back national titles, yeah, with our guy Ray Tanner.
yeah, well,
He's
your
my
guy.
guy. He's my guy. Yeah.
And so he just retired as the AD, but hired this guy kind of on his way out.
Yeah.
And really, they've done a good job. Again, though, all these kids have come from somewhere else, but it's still, it's been a really.
Have you seen some of the so Clemson's doing a lot of kind of I don't call it wild, but just kind of innovative stuff, right? With they played banana ball. Did you see that?
I did see Banana Ball. It was pretty awesome. They were able to coordinate their dance, and like, hey, we're not sure these kids are going to be able to do it. Dude. The kids could do it. And they flipped and dude, they coordinated
Kids
their
can
little
dance.
dance. Yeah. And now they wouldn't have put me. I was never a great dancer. I feel like you would be able to maybe for a
No,
big guy be able to move it pretty good.
I'm
You
a
know.
terrible dancer. No, not at
That's
all.
really disappointing. I
But
feel like you had me fooled a little bit. I had you as a good
no,
dancer and a good singer, and now you
mm,
keep telling me you can't do this. Maybe you're just humble. Maybe that's the truth. That's what
no,
I think.
no, legitimately bad dancer. I can't. No, I saw another clip from Clemson too. They did something that I thought was really cool. They were honoring some. I don't know if they do this every game, but they were honoring veterans and said, "Hey, all the veterans in the stands, please stand up." And you get Clemson players poured out of the dugout. What if they were shaking their hand?
Well, that's pretty
I was
cool.
like, man, that's really cool, man. And at 18, 19, 20, 21, I don't think you can really grasp fully.
You can't. I
Especially
think
if
there's
you're
some
playing.
different levels of maturity that some kids
Yeah.
have. So those coaches came from Michigan.
Okay.
Those were the Michigan coaches that had a ton of success. They bring Leggett back, who got fired from a terror. He should have never been fired. He should have been one like Avant that went out on his own
Go
terms.
forever. Yeah.
And so they bring Leggett back. So yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
he's like an associate head coach or yeah, something.
like a volunteer special assistant, head
Yeah.
assistant, director, head coach. And it's pretty. I like how they're doing things. They do a lot of stuff like in between innings. They'll bring a kid down and let the guys that aren't playing. It's very college baseball-esque, but they'll go stretch a little bit every couple innings or every inning. They'll bring a kid out of the stands and let him stretch with the players on the field that aren't playing. Yeah, they do some pretty neat things. And
That we did see. Did you go? Were you at the Clemson game with me? The NC State Clemson game last year, or a
maybe
couple years ago? And in between everything, they would. And again, this is what really gets me from the college to the pro game. Again, I was drafted at 17 and just indoctrinated into pro ball. Just kind of that little more hardened life, a little more no nonsense, a little more no rah rah kind of thing.
you wouldn't
And
like it this
yeah,
game
well,
tonight.
I say
Yeah.
when we went to that Clemson State game, and in between every inning, Clemson, the whole like there's like 50 guys on the bench. They're all running out to left field in a circle, doing some sort of stretch or some kind of nonsense.
Hey,
And
you never know when you're going to be needed, right? You got to be ready.
yeah, I wasn't. I could tell you when I was needed and not needed. I knew what I had going
And
on.
you knew how to
Like,
get yourself ready. But
yeah, I
even
didn't
like
go there and do some eye wash stretch right here to get myself ready. But yeah, man, the other stuff I'm a big fan of. It seems like they're putting a good product on the field, winning some ball games,
I don't
and
know. I
again
think I'm a little bit like not where you are because obviously I went to college and saw and I like some of the emotion and some of the things around college baseball. But now every play that's made in the field or every hit or home run, it's like extreme like
oh,
celebration.
there's a dance move, a celebration, a choreographed.
Yeah, and everybody
And man,
doing gang
it's
signs
hey,
on second
it was a
base.
bleeder. It was a bleeder up the middle, fella. It was a ball in the 5-6 hole that
Well,
the shortstop backhanded.
you may have saw that tonight. There was a bleeder. I think it was either up the middle, maybe it's in the hole, maybe a good play. It was a bang bang play at first. They called him safe, and he's like, "Yeah." They go and review it, call him out. It's like he walks off. And it's
Take
like
that,
I
fella.
don't know. I do believe college baseball you can be a lot more emotional because you don't play as many games, right?
And you got more people on the bench to be emotional. Like these kids probably aren't going to play a lot, maybe some midweek stuff. And they're I don't say they're a sole purpose, but a big part of who they need to be is kind of the battery, right?
Yeah.
Keep things moving in the dugout. So I don't know. Hey, speaking of batteries,
Okay.
did you lose your battery yesterday?
I didn't lose my battery. I lost my car to a deer yesterday.
I
No
didn't know if the
battery.
battery was part of that.
Dude, going down the road. Hey, you went through a spell. I think you hit like 3 deer in like less than 18 months. I mean, they were like
It was
attacking
like
you. I remember you having calls with the insurance company. You talking about you.
I didn't
I
know
had
I
the
didn't hit the deer. The deer hit me. They were like running into me, like actively. It's like, oh, here comes the Honda Accord again. There, Marvin, hit it, run! Like I ran, man. They were trying to total my car. I said, not today. But like it was, I had to
Well,
fight some insurance people.
They must communicated and got me because here's the deal: going down the
Uh,
road today, kind of taking my kid to school. You're kind of thinking about all the things, very tunnel vision. I'm in my lane. I hear my son say, "Deer," and I slam on brakes, and then I hit the deer. It's like, damn. He's like, damn. And I was like,
was that a
and part
proud
of me
dad
was like,
moment?
I didn't say a word. He's almost 13 years old. It was the appropriate time to use it. I thought it. I thought I thought it just kind of clipped it and everything mechanically would still be fine. Once I got going a little bit farther down the road, I started losing kind of acceleration and
uh,
eventually get a little bit closer. The truck may have seen its last days.
oh
But
no!
anyway,
Did you throw the deer in the back? What'd you do with the deer?
I should have. And if I'd have thought about it, if I'd have thought it truly took my, I really did think about it. So I came back by later. I cut the heart out of the deer and I just took the heart and I took it home with me just as a trophy. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I wanted to, man. I was so angry. Like animals were after me today, though. I mean, that was the situation. I went to try to go hit with my kid and got behind these weird duck things. Ducks were sitting in the road, and somebody had my cages. It wasn't a great day for me and animals. But yeah, so truck is not on the mend yet. Needs some mending. And
All right, so hey, if you're in the Triangle, Raleigh, North Carolina area, you do truck repairs, little body work, maybe. I saw Brian sent me the picture. Needs a headlight, maybe a radiator,
AC compressor. It needs
AC
the
compressor. I don't know
bracket
what
to
that is.
hold the yeah. So I've
A
already kind
flux
of priced it out.
capacitor.
I priced out the parts. Not looking great for a truck of this age to not, maybe we can work some deals. Maybe we need to
All right,
work
here's
some
the thing.
deals. Well, free
Two things.
advertising, maybe.
One, if you can fix cars, that's great. You know what? If you have a car you just want to give Brian, even better.
Yeah,
We'll take it.
I'm pimping in my father-in-law's caddy right now. It's like an '08. So I feel like I'm gonna put some 22s on it, maybe just while I have it for a little while, and
Get
maybe
some Daytons and
get some
McLeans.
speakers from Speaker Studio and just
I got
get
some.
after it.
Yeah, man. Well, Brian, I was heartbroken to see the truck. I know you love the truck,
A lot of
and
compliments on the truck. A lot of compliments. The younger generation really likes it. I'd go get gas. It's awesome. '06
yeah.
Sierra may be on its way to. I think I'm gonna part it out. I'm gonna do something that's productive with it for sure, though.
All right. Well, if you're a car person, again, let us know. Wright Stewart podcast at Gmail. Email us. You can hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I don't know. Can you communicate on TikTok? We have TikTok. I don't really communicate a ton on it, but
You can.
if
You
you
can.
want,
I don't know. I
if
mean,
you
I
can do that,
definitely.
hey, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and send us a message.
There's some. There's still. I can't get over the number of weird people that I see on TikTok. It's just a lot of different people. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm being hacked by somebody, but it's just a lot of different people. I mean, this thing has exposed me. I mean, I haven't gotten to a point where I'm texting 30 people, 35 people on any given day, unless it's different work things. But it has opened my eyes to, I can't imagine like being like somebody who really has a platform, right? And we have a platform. We're developing our platform to have conversation.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine people that have thousands and thousands and thousands of interactions. It would just, it'd take up your whole day.
Yeah, well, that's what they do. That's what they love. Some people are trying to get off the grid. Some are trying to stay right in the heart and hang on to that grid for as long as they can.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I've got deer heart if anybody needs any.
All right, we'll throw that in a nice stew. I bet it's probably tough. I couldn't probably have to cook that for a while, tenderize it up, maybe smoke it. Probably be good. Figure something out. So, hey, thank you all for listening today. We appreciate it. Looking forward to some great games this weekend, and hey, we'll catch up with you soon.
Out, go pack. 4 and 5.